everybody, and welcome to our virtual Renaissance Fair. My name is Miss Tori, and I work at the Glenpool Library, where you probably have seen me do story times before. Today, I am going to be interviewing Miss Casey Marie Cooper, who plays Artemis, the art fairy at the Oklahoma Renaissance Fair. Casey, welcome.
Hi.
So let's just get this right out of the way before we get started. You and I already know each other, right?
Yeah.
Casey is my niece. We've known each other for a number of years. But being a fairy, what's that like?
It's a lot of fun getting to work with all the kids and seeing their smiling faces. I started a working festival when I was a child, and I was always infatuated with all the sparkles and the wings, and getting to see that magic in the kids' faces is just, it warms my heart.
So at the Oklahoma Renaissance Fair, the fairies hang out in the woods off of the children's realm.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, we call it the Fairy Glen, yes.
The Fairy Glen. How many fairies do you work with?
So this season we would have had me, the flower fairy, his name's Florian. We would have had an abyssal water fairy named Illumina, and we've got an animal fairy, her name is Myotis, and then we would have had a new crystal fairy, her name would have been Soleil.
Ah. And how long have you been doing the fairy thing?
So this would be, I believe, my 6th season. Being a fairy at the Castle of Muskogee, but I've worked it off and on ever since I was like 13. So,
what else have you done besides being a fairy?
I always worked in the kids' realm. I can't get enough of kids.
So tell us about a typical day at the Ren Fair for you.
Oh goodness. So for the fairies, it starts at about 7 a.m. We have to get up and set up the Queen's Tea in the castle. So we'll set that up. It takes maybe 30 minutes if all of us get it done fast, so you don't have to worry about getting your makeup finished, because we don't have to be at any sort of meeting until 9:27. So that gives us from about 7:30 to 9:27 to have everything done. And then after that, we go to our area group meeting down in the woodlands, and then we just go and do our thing. Some of us will go into parade, some of us will go into dance show. We have a lunch rotation after parade. So it's pretty cool.
Okay, so you start working at 7, but the fair doesn't open until what time?
I believe cannon goes off at 10:30.
10:30. So you're there getting things set up and ready for 2 to 3 hours before everything is been starting.
It's like a bustling town in the mornings. Everybody's working like right at dawn. As soon as the castle opens for people to go in and start setting up their booths, everyone's awake.
So how long does it take you to apply your fairy makeup? And if you would, just lean in so we can get a close-up of that.
Purple and orange are my colors. It takes me about an hour, depending on what all I'm doing. Sometimes I'll do like the really complicated makeup, which will take about 2. If I have extra time, I'll just start throwing stuff on my face.
And a lot of that stuff is glitter.
Yes.
So there's a lot of glitter in the fairy realm?
Lots of glitter. We all have bottles of glitter that we pass around to kids.
Because that's supposed to be fairy dust, yes?
Yes.
So your wings there are very shiny. Did you make those?
I didn't. I got them from someone who worked at the festival for a long time. Her name's Charla. She works in the office at the castle. And they had one of the like metal presses, the laser cutters for metal, and they would laminate it for us. So they've lasted quite a long time. It's laser cut aluminum, so they're pretty durable. I need to reskin them, but other than that, they've lasted me 5 years now.
So laser cut aluminum. And then laminated.
Yes, with a vinyl. It's pretty strong.
I'm just going to throw out there that the Central Library Makerspace downtown does have a laser cutter. So, you know, those listening at home who might want to try making some wings. And my last question for you today, do you have any acting advice for kids that want to get into doing something similar?
So every morning after morning meeting, we have this callback. If you're gonna lose, lose big. So everything that you do, do it confidently. And if you mess up, make it into some big show. Like, be confident about what you do, and don't let anybody's words push you away from doing stuff you love.
I like that. Well, those are all the questions I had for you. Casey, did you have anything else you wanted to say about being a fairy?
Being a fairy is just really fun. If you ever want to get into the Castle of Muskogee, you can always look on our website. It's okraa.org. There's a calendar on there which will have our dates and stuff on it, important stuff for new people, and all of that sort of stuff. So.
Okay, great. Well, thank you very much for your time. Remember, boys and girls, our summer reading program lasts until July 31st. If you read your books, you can get some prizes. If you want to know where the fairy books are, I can sure show you that. Just ask me next time you're in the library. Casey, thank you again, and everybody have a great day.
Hello and welcome to another virtual Renaissance Fair interview for the Tulsa City County Library. I am Miss Tori from the Glenpool Library, and today I'm talking with my buddy, Randy. Now, Randy is a belly dancer, and she's going to tell us a little bit about her art today. Randy, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well.
Good.
So I see you've got your belly dance outfit on. Do you want to stand up and give us a little twirl? And very good. So how long have you been belly dancing?
I attended my first belly dance lesson when I was 13 years old. So as of this year, that's 20 years, but not the whole time, right? On and off.
And there's different kinds of belly dancing, right? What kind of belly dancing is it that you do?
The type of dance that I do is called Fat Chance Belly Dance style belly dance. It was formerly known as American Tribal Style, or ATS, and it's a group improvisational style of dance. So we don't do choreography, we do improv made up in the moment as a group.
So there are standard moves that you all know and you put them together?
Yeah, it functions like a vocabulary. So when you go through lessons, and I took a full year of lessons to learn the whole vocabulary, they teach you the move, and then they teach you the punctuation that maybe goes on either side to tell the other dancers what you're going to be doing. So when we stand in a formation, it's like a diamond where there's somebody here and then slightly back here and here. And the person to the front left dances and includes these little cues that could just be a head turn or a hand in a certain position. And then the rest of the dancers know what's coming next. So we can read her body language like it's a vocabulary. And that way we look like it's choreographed, but it's all improv.
Wow, that sounds really neat.
Yeah.
Now you do this with a dance troupe, yes? You want to tell us about that?
Yeah, I dance with Terra Nova. We're based in Northwest Arkansas, all over, but mostly in Fayetteville.
So what's the history of this style of belly dance?
The history of Fat Chance belly dance is kind of cool. It's an American style, and it originated in the late 1980s in San Francisco in the Bay Area with a woman named Carolina. She had taken other belly dance classes before, and she took from a lady she considered more of an artist than a dancer, and so she taught her to feel the music, and she took that after her initial troupe disbanded and started her own style, and it came together with a lot of women from different backgrounds, and so the moves just kind of built themselves up from there. So it's a fairly recent style as far as the history of belly dance goes.
Now, is it based on any of the traditional European styles?
It pulls from dances from all over the world. So there are definitely some moves that are Egyptian, because that's the type that I took before was an Egyptian belly dance, and some of it is reminiscent of that. Some maybe feel a little more like cabaret, which is another American style of belly dance. Some pulls from Turkish or Persian moves. It's a world dance style for sure.
Awesome. You often dance with props, and I see you have a few props there with you. Do you want to talk about those?
I would love to. So all of it is still improv, but we've modified our improvisational dancing to use different props so that we can keep our shows interesting. One of the most exciting ones that we use to dance, usually at the end of the shows, is a tambourine, and we like to do fast music with it. We have got baskets that we will dance with on our heads. I'm trying to reach down here and get into the frame. On our heads or in a held position. And then in the basket, I've got the little instruments that each belly dancer wears on her fingers called zills. And so we would wear one of these on each thumb and finger and clink them together rhythmically while we dance. Most important for shows like the Muskogee Renaissance Fair are water gourds, because hydration is key. And then each of us, in addition to dancing, also contribute to the music. So this is my drum, and I also play flute. We've got a member of our troupe who plays Hurdy-Gurdy, and then 2 lovely singers. Oh, I almost forgot, and the most exciting one. Swords are cutting edge things. They're very heavy. They're surprisingly difficult to maneuver around with, so they take a lot of work.
Wow. So balance is right on your head. Like
yeah. There's nothing special on it. No, like, tape or anything keeping it up there. And this is just a headband to keep me from hurting my scalp.
Now, what's your favorite part of this hobby?
The community. The community is definitely my favorite part. I chose and enjoy this style most because it really builds fellowship between the dancers. So you learn to read each other member as they dance, and each body and the way they perform is like reading another dialect or somebody with an accent. So I may have one dance sister who dances very fluidly, and I know that I have to watch a little closer for her movements, or I have one that is very by the book, and so she looks just like a diagram would look if you drew it up, and I know what to look for there. And I have one dance sister who is very, very short, and so I have to adjust my vision down like 12 inches to be able to watch her for our cues. And so my favorite part is getting to play with all of the different people and then the community that we form as a result of knowing each other so well.
What would you say to someone who was just starting out with this?
I would say that this is the most positive environment, and it's welcoming to anyone. So if belly dance is something that you've considered, regardless of your gender or your athletic level or your body image, that this is a place that's going to be very, very welcoming to you, and it will teach you to move parts of your body that you didn't even know existed before.
Awesome. Well, Randy and Terra Nova Tribal Dance have shared a performance video with us, and we're going to link that right after the interview. Randy, thank you so much for talking with us today. Want to remind everyone that our summer reading program lasts until July 31st, and read your books, get your prizes. We've got some fabulous grand prize drawings. Be sure to get that done on time. Randy, thank you again, and have a great day, everybody.
Thank you.
Welcome back, everybody, to our virtual Renaissance Fair. Earlier today, I spoke with Randy, a dancer with Terra Nova Tribal Dance, and now I am speaking with one of their other members. This is Michelle, and Michelle is going to tell us about an instrument today.
Yes.
Michelle, what is this?
I get that question a lot. This is a hurdy-gurdy, and I'll hold it up here so you can see the whole thing. It is originally from the Middle Ages. The earliest pictures of it are found on carvings in churches in Spain from about 900, 1000. So it's a very old instrument. It's sort of like a fiddle or violin that plays with the wheel and a keyboard instead of putting your fingers on the strings and using a bow. So I'll show you the pieces here. So these are the tuning pegs, just like on a violin or guitar or something like that. On the inside here, this is the really cool part, there's a lot of little tiny stoppers that we call tangents. And when I press a key, it presses against the string at that point. So if you've ever played a piano, when you're playing the hurdy-gurdy, it's like standing behind the piano and playing it, and you've got your black keys and your white keys. They're just in a different configuration. So that will change the pitch of the note, which is based on the string. So I have two what I call melody strings here. So those play the tunes and change with the keys. I also have a couple of strings on here that are called drone strings. So this is a drone instrument like an accordion or a bagpipe. There's always some kind of background note that's being played, which is kind of unique, part of its unique sound. But its really unique thing is a string over here called the trumpet. And it sits on a little bridge like the other strings do, but this bridge is uneven. So when I give it a little bit of an extra push with the crank, it will vibrate and it creates a buzzing sound. So when you hear a hurdy-gurdy played and it's buzzing, it's actually supposed to be doing that. So it's a way of creating a rhythm, like having your own built-in drummer. And then at the very bottom is the crank. So I use this to turn the wheel, which makes the sound of the strings.
Wow, that's a lot to take in. So it's a bit like an auto harp in that you push the buttons to make the chords?
A little bit, yeah. There's no way of playing chords on this. So you can play single note melodies, which was much more common in the medieval music anyway. Chords were kind of a later invention in music.
Well, how long have you been playing the hurdy-gurdy?
I've been playing for almost 2 years now, so I'm still a bit beginner, but I really love it and love playing this instrument.
What drew you to it?
It was from going to medieval and Renaissance fairs and reenactment events and hearing the music and hearing this strange instrument and being really drawn to the unique sound that it makes.
Now, what would you say to someone who was interested in starting this? Are hurdy-gurdies affordable?
They're pretty expensive to get started. Unfortunately, it's not really an instrument where you can just kind of try it out. It's a very small number of people who play them, so each instrument has to be made by hand. There are no factories that make them, which makes them more expensive. So a beginner instrument, you could find one. There's a great maker in the Ukraine named Hurdy-Gurdy. He's got a beginner instrument that costs about $600. You do have to get on a wait list though, and then that's going to take a couple of years probably to get through the wait list. There aren't really any, and there's nobody in the US that makes good hurdy-gurdies right now. There's a maker in South America, I think it's Brazil, Eduardo Luz, who's a really good up-and-coming maker. So I would say if you're interested in learning how to play or just see if you even want to get into it, to look on Facebook for the hurdy-gurdy community. And of course, you can reach out to Turnover Tribal and talk to me, and I'd be happy to let you try mine out and give it a shot and see what you think about it.
So do you have to know music in order to play a hurdy-gurdy? I know a lot of guitar players, for example, can get by just with tablature. You don't have to be able to read music.
Some people can just listen to a tune and learn it and play it by ear without having to read music. Unfortunately, my ear is not that good, so I do learn by reading notes. There isn't really anything like guitar tab for hurdy-gurdy, so it is reading notes. But it's pretty easy to learn because of the chromatic keys, the way the keys go up and down. It's not too hard to learn on.
Do you play any other instruments?
Yeah, when I was much younger, I played a little bit of piano, and then I took some violin lessons when I was in college. So that definitely helped to get an ear for music and just learn how to read music and play a little bit.
Now, Michelle, would you like to give us a little demonstration?
I would love to. I will put my strings on here. So we'll have a drone, a melody, and the trumpet. I'll play a little bit and you let me know if the sound levels are okay, because it can be a little intense. Let's see.
Fantastic, Michelle. Does that song have a name?
Yes, Kipri, which is a name for Cyprus in the island, and it is probably a medieval tune, but it's been changed a lot over the years.
Love it.
Thank you.
Okay. Michelle, thank you so much for talking with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, remember to participate in our summer reading program, and if you want to learn more about how to play an instrument like the hurdy-gurdy, I don't know if there are hurdy-gurdy lessons on there, but if you visit our Artist Works database, which is free with your library card, there are music lessons for a variety of instruments available. You can access that at tulsaLibrary.org/research/databases. And if you have any problems with it, you can call our help desk. So I'm going to say thank you, Michelle, for talking with us today. And thanks everybody for joining us.